Welcome. Good morning, everyone. Happy Sunday morning to you. Nicole will be joining us shortly. She's just got to grab a coffee. Welcome, welcome. Hope everyone is having an excellent morning this morning. It's a cool morning here in Michigan, but still a good morning. I mean, every day above ground, right? As they say. Everybody got their morning beverage. I don't want to be selective. I know some people prefer tea or Pepsi or what have you, but you know me, I'm a coffee guy. Started when I was way too young, but it's just one of those things. Coffee is the acceptable, whatever, morning stimulant. Anyhow, so yeah, we have some lovely plants today. I went on a bit of a tear. Pulled up all the floorboards. So we got some good stuff in the trays this morning. Some oddballs, some rare stuff that, you might not have seen in a while. So it should be an exciting morning plant-wise. And we're also going to have some conversation. What are we going to conversate about?
Collection maintenance for spring.
Oh, yes. Collection maintenance for the spring. So that's a great topic. Still 6:30 there. Oh, geez. That's early, but thank you so much for getting up early and joining us. We really appreciate all the people coming and listening to our nonsense day in, day out. It's really quite inspiring. So we enjoy it.
I heard that the time between 6:30 and 8:30 goes really slow, and then 8:30 to 9:30 I run out of time.
Yeah,
every Sunday.
It definitely happens every time. There's always something that you forgot you were supposed to do or you're going to do. Yes. Oh, thank you so much. We do try. And like I said, I don't know. I'll keep saying it. I'm not an expert. I'm an enthusiast. We are both enthusiastic about what we do, but we're not experts. We just do it a lot and we've learned along the way. So we enjoy sharing whatever we've learned along the way and our experience. Last night, if any of you joined us, we were having a really great conversation about one of our favorite species, Matrata.
Oh, I'm going to be really sad thinking.
Oh, dear. I'm so sorry. This is not going to be your morning. You might want to put in the earplugs because,
don't look.
Like I was saying this morning, we got some good stuff.
I just loaded the shop just a second, so feel free to start scrolling.
Yeah. There's some new stuff. There's some stuff that we've never offered before.
Yeah, stuff's starting to trickle out from the last few rounds of chopping that Caleb has done.
I've been on a rampage lately, trying to bring new things, trying to beat back the jungle, as it were, in a way. I'm making real strides to clearing the fence out there in the garage, and it's encouraging. I've seen quite a few plants come down that I was like, how am I ever going to handle this plant and manage all this? And I have. So step by step, we're getting closer and closer.
Sorry, I missed that. Wrong one. Oh, gosh darn it again.
I
don't know why that happens.
We're making such an effort to be over there.
I'm always putting a link in our story on Instagram when we go live on YouTube so that you can find us that way if you're over there. I think you're not on social media. So if if you're ever looking for it, send me a message on Palm Street, because even if we're live on YouTube, I should get a notification. So I can quickly send you a link over to find us. I don't know why it's so hard to find.
You will be glad to know, though. We're in discussions about doing a similar content right here on this very platform. So definitely going to be adding some content here and also streaming over to YouTube.
Yeah, but I think we're going to go the other way.
We're missing the mark with being there and not here. So that's kind of what we're leaning into. And we'll see how it goes, and we'll compare and contrast and decide which way to go forward. But I definitely think that you have to remain flexible in looking for the solutions, and getting the word to the people is not always first try you get it right. So we give a pretty good effort over there. We've put some energies into it. It can be it's
fun. It's just I would rather reach more people.
Yeah.
And I think more people are here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it'll stream still there. But I think, Palm Street continues to be our favorite place to be.
Yeah. We have a great community here, and I feel like that really helps when we try to reach out and tell people what's going on. You never have a problem finding us here, right? This seems to be a pretty reliable channel. Mm-hmm. And so like when we put out the same word on other channels, it doesn't always reach our people. And so here we are sitting, sharing this content, but our people can't see it. That's no good. What's the effort for then? So the point was to make it more accessible at any time, but
we'll just do it here and do it without like the sales here. And then now we have unlimited shows on Palm Street now under their new whole system. So that makes it a big difference.
Yeah.
All right. So let's talk about plants. Are you going right out of the gate or?
Should we? Might as well.
Might as well, right?
They're all visible anyway, so it's not like we're showing you anything that's secret at this moment. But I am going to show you some really beautiful plants. Very sorry if you're on a spending ban. You're going to be sad about this. This is one that we've never shown before. This is Commency. It's a very interesting large leaf species.
I don't know how to. Sometimes I can take them out, and sometimes I can't.
As you can see, very beautiful veins. We're just going to ignore non-relevant comments. That's all. It's no big deal. We can just ignore people who are not here to see what we're showing. Beautiful leaves here, gorgeous veins. These get really nice sun stress too, so very beautiful. I really enjoy it. It's grown very fast for us, so it's one of those very enjoyable plants to have around.
You said that was a cream flower. I think you said you looked it up.
Yeah, I looked it up. It's cream with a pale pink center. So it's very beautiful, but it's not like the most flashy flower. But it's, like I said, it's a fast grower. It's a great trellising plant. It's got gorgeous large leaves that have a lot of character and personality. So I really enjoy that about it. And for those of you who know, this is the first time we're offering it. So grab it while you can. Okay, here's another favorite of ours that we haven't offered in quite a while, but it's a favorite around here. As you can see, these gorgeous splashy leaves. This is the Rhyme Splash. Very, very pretty and fast growing as well, but it's super gorgeous and just, it's got a lot of really interesting
big leaves too.
Yeah, they get big, they get pink splash, and they grow quite fast. So I really enjoy it. Very beautiful. I can see that this one has just
Good morning.
Just been claimed, but I'll show it anyways. That's a beautiful little blue Quinquevaria outer variegated with some really nice color, I might add. Often you get just a very faint margin on the leaves, but this one's got some really beautiful color. So I do have a couple more of those. If anyone else is still looking, give us a little shout out and I'll go and run and fetch. So here's another favorite of ours. This is Incurvula pelta, the outer variegated. Absolutely gorgeous little spoon-shaped leaves. I just love these little guys. They're super cute. It looks like Hushkliana outer variegated, but extra large size leaves. And they have like more of a plumpness to them. They're thicker and they're also just like more cupped. So I just think it's really a cute presentation. These adorable little leaves are just super fun. When they come out, first new leaves, they emerge with the pink on the edges, and it's really a fun transformation to watch. They also have adorable little flowers too. So one of them actually flowered for me in the prop box, not while it was on the mother plant that's quite large and beautiful, but in the prop box it decided, okay, now it's time to flower. So I have that happen quite frequently. I don't know what the science is on that, but I do find it interesting that the prop box seems to be a very popular place for plants to suddenly just pop off of flowering. I have one right now that is a Sulwinica cross of sorts.
Oh.
That has actually never flowered for me in person, but now it's flowering on the mother plant.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's a very interesting plant, but yeah, it's the first time I ever cut it. But I put it in the prop box and it's now giving me flowers. Pretty large buds, so I'm interested to see where that goes. Yeah. Anyhow, I digress. We have a species 556 Seed 002. Look at these gorgeous, large, wavy margin leaves. And you can see 2 active growth points kicking off here. This is a very cool and very underrated species, in my opinion. These large, chunky leaves, they're quite compelling when you get a nice vine full of them. So definitely don't sleep on that one. It's a really good one. All right, here is a Callistophila. As you know, we're quite fond of Callistophilas around here. This one has a really pretty leaf here. Gorgeous veins on this. This is the Cali Mountain. Really pretty and easy growing Callistophila variety.
Definitely different than the other one. It doesn't have the same dark margin our other one has, a little bit thinner and wider leaf.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a shorter, more stout, but definitely much more thin vein pattern on it, except for this one has this nice chunky spot that's all black. I think that's really pretty, but that's very unique. There's a little bit of splash on it too. I don't know that a lot of Callistophilas that I've grown have had much splash. This one is getting a little bit of it, and I think it's really cute. Callistophila Cali Mountain. All right, this is another favorite of mine. This is the Lai Chow round leaf. And you can see that gorgeous texture, beautiful splash, and obviously a very long vine here with more growth on it, more leaves growing. But this is a really great one. I find these leaves, that texture, to be so beautiful. Those raised veins like that, I just think that's so pretty. And they get quite large and very round. It's super pretty. The mother plant.
It's like a quilted texture.
Yeah. Okay, here's another one. First time offer. This is actually the only one I've grown in 2 years of owning this plant. This is a species RHM 030-011. It's an interesting leaf, sort of elongated. It has this iridescence to it, or this matte characteristic that I find really beautiful. Very interesting. When I first got this plant, it struggled for a minute, but it finally is rebounding and doing really well. And I'm really enjoying how it's gorgeous leaves. I saw a picture of it online that has these absolutely amazing margins, sun stressing, and I'm going to have to put mine in some brighter light because I really think it's very pretty. I don't see a lot of people offering it. It's just an interesting plant. I really like it. I think more people should be taking notice of it. So there you go. I need to make more cuttings of it because it's really cool and I really enjoy it. All right, here's another one. This is a Jennifer that has decided, excuse me, to be beautiful and not Jurassic. It still has this sort of a Jurassic vibe to it, but look at that gorgeous splash on those new leaves. Super pretty, and that's quite interesting in my opinion for a Jennifer. I don't see, my Jennifer doesn't usually give me splash like that. So it's quite unique and interesting and just very beautiful. Nice little plant. Jennifer is an easygoing, beautiful plant with these thick, chunky Finlaysoni-like leaves. Yeah, it's an easy grower that you don't have to really fuss over. So definitely a favorite of our household because it's got all those great characteristics that, you know, it holds its own. Plus it's frequent flower. It doesn't, you know, make you wait a long time for flowers, which is nice. And yeah, the flowers are pretty. So definitely a lot of good reasons to love that plant. Here's another favorite of mine that we don't make many of these, but it's super cool. This is a thin-leafed Hoya, but this is a Fusco wall. Absolutely gorgeous. There's actually 2 stems rooted in this cup, but it gets these elongated, wavy leaves. Really, really dark, gorgeous. And it has somewhat of like a, almost like graffiti texture to the leaf, like where there's raised veins through the leaf, and it's really quite striking. The stem is dark green, the leaves are dark green, but it's just kind of a slow grower. It sort of reminds me of multiflora in a way, but it's definitely much smaller. Jennifer, stubborn for you? The weather here this morning is cold. Monday morning, it's supposed to be cold also, but I don't think it's like dangerous cold in terms of shipping plants. I don't think that's
It's windy. No snow down here.
Yeah, no
thankfully,
snow.
It's really windy all weekend, and thankfully we were not one of the people who lost power, but a lot of people around us did.
Yeah.
We still have one more afternoon. They're calling for high winds today as well, so we'll have to watch that closely.
Yeah.
But
I did hear that there's some snow forecasted for overnight, but I don't know exactly what the most recent
15 inches.
Is. Oh my goodness. We are so sorry to hear that. That's not fun. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, my aunt is in northern Wisconsin and she got 2 feet. Yeah.
Nope. No, thank you. That's when I move, like when that happens all the time, it's like, this is no longer a fluke.
Yeah.
Like this is intentional. Like you're living there because you like that weather. Oh, that's just too much for me. All right. We have this beautiful Hoya fungi seedling splash. Gorgeous. We got this from UPT and it's been a fast grower, very beautiful and very interesting, but it's got these really gorgeous, rich, dark leaves with beautiful splash. It varies. Sometimes it has more than others, but it really is quite striking against these really large, dark, rich colored leaves. So if you've ever grown fungi, it's a very durable plant. It's very easy to grow. These have a sort of a pubescentness on the back. They're not quite fuzzy as some of the other fungi that I've grown, but it's not without some level of fuzziness. Anyhow, it is very beautiful. And again, that contrast between the splash and those rich green leaves, I think is really pretty. Okay, here's another favorite. This is Arena, EPC 964. Absolutely gorgeous veins on these. The splash turns pink. They're fast and easy growers, but they're just so striking. Easy to love. The last few of these, the leaves just got absolutely massive. So
yeah, very pretty.
I'm a huge fan. It's definitely one of those that in person, it's much more beautiful than it comes across on camera, I feel. Okay, not last, but actually this one already did so. Mm-hmm. I can show this right now anyhow. This is the Rejang Lebong. Cute little new leaf growing there. Doing some research about this plant, I have my questions about whether or not this, needs further identification. There was an interesting conversation Nicole and I were having this morning about it because this does not look like any of the other listed plants that we were looking up. This leaf is much shorter, much wider, much rounder, and much darker in color. I feel like the other leaves were much thinner.
Yeah, when you don't have none of these species are ID'd, right? So these are probably different plants that are collected in the same area, all being sold as species named for that area, location. But we bought this one from New Orleans Hoya House about a year ago. But it definitely looks a lot different than what else I was finding circulating. Yeah. So be interested to see how it flowers.
It's interesting, and it's one of those things that we can all, join in on that race to see
if anyone else grows it and you have something that looks like this, I'd love to know about it.
Yeah, if you flowered it, let us know, because it definitely doesn't look like any of the pictures that we were finding. So, okay, last but not least on this tray, we have this beautiful, ginormous elephant. The elephant in the room. As you can see, if you give this enough speed, it's going to fly away. These are like, this thing has a wingspan. As you can see, new growth, nice vine kicking off here. So this is going to grow like crazy. Now that it's got a vine growing, these things take off. So prime time to get it in the mail and send it to its new home. It's big, beautiful.
Yeah.
AH027.
They're just such a big leaf. Yeah.
Yeah, aren't they so cool?
So I want to watch them go from tiny to huge, too.
Yeah, you have to give them a good amount of space. You have to mind that the leaves don't get tangled up with each other because they will get kind of wonky. But they're just so beautiful. When they produce these massive, splashy, beautiful, wonky leaves like that, I just love it. So definitely a good one to add to your collection. They have one. Okay.
I think you have one or two more of those too, right? You said if we need it.
I do. Yeah, if anyone else is looking for an elephant in their room, let me know. All right. Oh, we got a tangle over here. First, let's show this beautiful Bordini. Another interesting longleaf. These have really nice veins. They sun stress really beautifully, and they have gorgeous flowers as well. So, easy grower that I think is highly under discussed. Not really one that you see much about, but they really get quite pretty. Our mother plant is one of the plants I just pulled off the fence and still needs trellising work. But yeah, it's got some really pretty sun stress on it. I just need to find a way to arrange it so that it can still soak up that beautiful sun.
Yeah.
Because I'm not ready to take 45 cuttings off of that plant. That's a lot of Bordinis. Okay, this is a tequila sunrise. Very beautiful. I'm just in awe of this gorgeous new leaf here with this beautiful green, rich green color. Gorgeous splash. This one is just an easy grower with a really wide range.
I actually just did the same thing. I told Caleb last night that I'm going to feature Love Affair on our Instagram this week, I think, because they're all looking so cute.
Yeah, Love Affair is a good one. I really love that plant. The flowers are gorgeous. It's fast to grow them, so you don't have to wait for long. It's also one of those very friendly plants that if you need something to trellis up and tinker with, it's a great plant. It's going to give you lots of action and movement. Funny acting? I'm not sure about that. I feel like it's been fast growing and just pretty easy. Yeah, I do think that they are a thirsty plant. So they do like a regular watering.
I think sometimes when they're a little bit dry, when they're forming their new leaves, you'll get a little bit of wonkiness in the leaf as it forms. Like it doesn't come out perfect.
Yeah.
I think they're a little sensitive to underwatering when they're growing.
But, yeah, and that's common with a lot of Hoyas, I would say. And so it's not necessarily unique to them, but they definitely
I think you see it
show more signs.
Their leaves are so like prominently pointed outwards and you know, paired.
And they're relatively thin also. For Hoyas, the leaves are relatively thin, so they're
not hard though by any means.
Yeah. It's a cool plant though. I really enjoy how it sun stresses, how fast it grows, and the flowers are gorgeous too. So there's a lot of really good reasons to love the Love Affair.
Yeah, it's definitely one of my favorite colored flowers. I have it somewhere here.
It's well named Love Affair because like once you see it, it's hard not to fall in love with it. It's very beautiful. The flowers are striking. That's it. They look like candy. Yeah. It's one of my favorite characteristics about Hoya flowers. Like, and that one
salmony, peach, and red. I like it.
Yeah. All right, here's another beauty. This is a Thomsoni white flower. Gorgeous little cute splashy fuzzy leaves. And when they do flower for you, they're very beautiful white flowers. Normally the standard is a pink flower. And I think that these flowers they take a little bit longer to grow. It's a slower growing plant. So be patient with it, but it's very rewarding when it does flower. Okay, we have this beautiful Mayumi, UPT 002, number 001. So those of you who notice I'm listing SKU numbers, it's because we have more than one of these available in the shop. So pick out the one that suits you if you're interested. There are more than one available. So this one happens to be 001. Look at that gorgeous new leaf though. Super gorgeous. Nice dark excuse me. Nice dark margins. Fast and easy grower. This guy has really sized up. The mother plant, when we cut it, the leaves like doubled in size. So I really find that to be a very interesting phenomenon with Hoyas. But that one really put it on full display because the rich, gorgeous, dark margins on it. I can't wait to put that in the summer sun and get a little bit of sun stress on that plant because I've seen some pictures of what it's capable of doing and it's really quite striking. So definitely get yourself one of these beautiful Mayumis because, yeah, striking. Okay. We go from sun stressing to silver. We have Obscura Silver, gorgeous little cute leaves that look like they're sugar dusted. Super easy growth, very fast grower, and very beautiful. Again, this is one that also sun stresses really beautifully. So it's got quite range, and for us, it's grown really quite quickly. We're trying to do some comparison between this and the Cryptic Chrome, and so we've recently acquired one of those. And so far, it's hard to say which one I like better. I haven't decided. Oh, did you? Nice. Very cool. Yeah, that's exciting, right? Like, it's a fun way to propagate, so I think you'll really enjoy it. If you're into Hoyas, it's a really great way to propagate your Hoyas. And again, we've really enjoyed propagating aeroponically like that. Okay, next we have Latifolia Queensy. Gorgeous Latifolia with inner variegation. New growth there. Very beautiful color on these leaves. Again, Latifolias.
Oh, nice. Everybody's getting them, huh? Fun.
I've always liked Latifolias, but when you start getting into the variegated Latifolias, it's definitely a different ball game. The Queensy and the Pot of Gold and all the variations of it, it's quite a slippery slope when you start collecting those guys.
Does Phil have any specific directions on how to start those when he sends it out to you guys? I wonder. Packet of info? Cool.
Yeah, it's a very cool device.
Oh, and video. Nice. It's pretty cool.
Okay, next we have this beauty. This is Leonensis. Gorgeous pillowy leaves. These get really beautiful pink splash, and the shape on these leaves is really nice. They also get really beautiful margins. I'm a big fan of this Leonensis. I try to put it in a prominent place no matter where it's at. We have one over at Mom's. We also have one here. So I keep them all around because I really like these big, wonky, crazy looking leaves like that. I think they're just so pretty. And
the Leonensis. Oh, that's sweet. That's nice that he did. Yeah, they're worth it. I think you showed the mom the other day when you brought, or was that the cyprin you brought in?
No, that was the Leonensis. Yeah.
It's really pretty.
Yeah, it's a gorgeous plant. It's just an easy grower that's beautiful. The more light you give it, the more pink those leaves get when they're splashy, and the darker the margins get too. So it's just, you can take it all the way if you want. I mean, I haven't cooked it, obviously, but I've given it some pretty bright light in our grow space, and so it really reacts to it. So I don't know. I like the size and the shape of the leaf. I feel like you get that on a nice trellis, and that turns into a beautiful house plant. It's not just a cup full of something or a cup full of leaf. You're really on your way to turning into a really beautiful. I'm not sure if it is a viola cross, but it looks like it could have some viola.
I think is a cross that has Leonensis in it. Leonensis is a species.
Okay. I see. So they are related.
Don't quote me on that, but I think it might be
the other way around. Interesting. Mm-hmm. Well, we'll have to do some further research on that and potentially find an answer, but I think that's very interesting. And they are remarkably similar. They have that pear shape to the leaf a little bit. And so there's definitely some, common characteristics. I've not seen the Leonensis flower yet, so I can't really compare that. But come to think of it, our viola has not flowered for us either.
Yes.
Has it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's white like the Svetlana.
And sometimes I lose track. I don't recall
I'm pretty sure. Because we have it on the T-shirts.
Is that from ours?
We had to send her a picture of it.
Oh. So yeah, I grew so many plants that I don't even remember plants that I flowered. So there it is. All right, we have Comengiana outer variegated, very beautiful, fast growing, small leafed Hoya with, like I said, very remarkable resilience. This is a very easygoing plant that has thin leaves but doesn't act like it. It's just easygoing and it holds moisture. 001. So multiples available in the store. Super cute. Comengiana. Okay, this one is MB 1457. Is that it?
1497.
1497. That's the one. Very beautiful red margin on these leaves. Gorgeous splash. And they have like a real iridescence to them. I find these are very, very pretty leaves. And again, a trellis full of these leaves is definitely nothing to sneer at. Very beautiful. And their flower is gorgeous also. Okay, next we have this beautiful love affair. As we were just discussing how beautiful these guys are, how fast they grow. This one has 2 active vines growing. Gorgeous leaves. Again, long. This is going to be 4383.
Yeah, that one sold. We have a couple more still in the shop, 3 more.
This one has a clover in it. Interesting. Look at that weed. Is it St. Patrick's Day today?
Tomorrow, but close.
Look at that. Lucky clover. All right. So next we have UT0112. App for Bessie. Very gorgeous. Long-leafed. Similar to the Leonensis, where it has that sort of pear-shaped leaf, but these are much more exaggerated, much longer. The pink on these gets crazy beautiful also, and it's just a very interesting plant. Our mother plant is one of my favorites to show off because it just has these amazing pink leaves. It gets a bright, a good amount of light, so it sits in a prominent space where it's getting the brightest light available, and that contributes to that pink color, but it's also grown a little taller. Hey, Catherine. It's grown a little taller and closer to the light, so it's getting a little bit more candle power to it. So it's really enhanced that pink splash. Very beautiful, and again, it's one of my favorites. Okay, next we have a species Limb Bang. Gorgeous. These remind me the most of a chicken farm or Finlaysoni or Bahoy. The texture of the leaf, the feeling of the leaf, but they don't have as much splash as a Bahoy. They're much more frequent flowerers than a Bahoy as well, but it's a very interesting one. And the flower, this is going to be
which one it is, sorry.
4390. So Lambang, fast and easy growing, very beautiful, fast flowering. All right, that's the last one on this tray. I will get another. Okay, next we have Dapple Gray. Large leaf carnosa variety with gorgeous splash. Easy grower. Very beautiful. Nice thick woody vine. So this is a perfect trellising Hoya. It's not at the point where it needs a trellis yet, but it will be. And it's definitely a really good one. Oh, undulata. I do have one, but yeah, I can go get it if you want.
What's the other? Maharani, Diversifolia Maharani. By far our favorite Diversifolia. We didn't like the other one very much. It was always weird and wonky, but this one always just consistently puts out really pretty variegation that's unique on each leaf. Really stands out. We have 2 in the shop, one longer one and this one. They do look like little cool neon weirdos. They remind me of an incrusata in their variegation, but yellow. And I always loved an incrusata for that same reason, that each leaf is so uniquely different that's why I love it. So.
Okay. So we have this beauty. Gorgeous wavy leaves, gorgeous splash. There's a few nicks and scrapes on a couple of leaves, but stunning nonetheless. That one we'll do for 100 if you're interested. Can I just show this one?
Maharani, yes, I did.
Okay. All right, let's show this Delat. Gorgeous large leaf species with these really glossy. They get good splash too. They get dark margins, but this one's got like growth points all over the place, like 3 active growth points on here. So very beautiful. This one is not listed. Okay. So Delat. This is one of the 2 that I'm aware of Vietnamese species that we have. And I find it interesting that they both have a similar shape. And I think we got them in a very same frame. So I don't know if we got them from the same seller. I can't recall, but interesting.
We did. We bought both of those from Jen at Bunch of Hoyas.
Oh, okay. Oh, our kids are home. Fantastic. All right. This is a species Caleb. And unlike me, it has a few freckles. Little sun stress freckles. Adorable. But yeah, not the fastest growing, but very beautiful and easy to grow. They're not fussy. They're just not quick. The Nicole, a comparable seed, is much faster in growing. So the number on this is going to be 005. Okay. Okay, next we have the beautiful Sowanika. Gorgeous little glossy leaves with so much personality. I think these are so adorable. They're fuzzy on the backs, but they're glossy on the tops, and they're just the cutest little things. They grow very dense, but I just think they're so adorable. Oh yeah, sorry.
You just always manage to put your finger exactly over the number.
Right.
Still working this out.
Yeah, they are fast and they're so pretty. Like I said, I was hoarding it for the longest time and then I had to share it because it's just so cute. But it was cute. That's why I wanted to keep it. No, we bought it as a small specimen and it just grew very, very quickly into a long vine. But it was so dense, like the node spaces are pretty short. So it grows a nice, really compelling looking vine. Yeah. Yeah. On a trellis, it's difficult to put the scissors to it. All right. So, and I didn't even have it on a trellis. It was just growing out and getting awkward, trying to tip over, but still irresistible. All right. Next we have AH049. Very beautiful. As you can see, that new leaf is coming in with lots of beautiful splash. Fast grower, but very, very beautiful, large elephant-like leaves. But yeah, I'm really impressed with how this plant has grown. It's different from the elephant in that it grows, I think, shorter node spaces in most cases, but it's just, I don't think it's quite as large in the leaf.
No, it doesn't get quite as big. Yeah.
Yeah. But very beautiful nonetheless. That splash is out cold. The AH049. Okay, next we go from broad leaf to narrow, skinny French fry leaf. This is Shepardii, gorgeous little plant. This is 004. Multiples available in the store, but this is such a cutie. I really enjoy these long, skinny leaves, and especially when you get quite a few of them cascading out of the pot, they make a really beautiful plant. I don't know why exactly, but they remind me of a palm leaf. I guess because each leaf kind of looks like a frond needle or something. I don't know. It just, when you have a nice cascading basket of it, it reminds me of the canopy of a palm tree or something. Right? It has like a vibe to it. So it's not when you're looking at one strand of it. It's when you're looking at a full pot. That's when I get that vibe. Anyhow, we have a Callistophila. It's non-distinct, but it's very distinct. It doesn't have a distinction, is what I mean to say, but it is, however, very beautiful. This one has that really nice dark vein pattern. It's just a Callistophila. It happens to be really broad and beautiful leaves, but it doesn't have a special name like Black Cat or Cali Mountain. It's just a really quite a striking specimen. So
it's not that blacked out, but it really looks like it to me.
Yeah, it's got strong vibes. Sleep turtles, yeah. Right? I don't know. It's just, I'm a huge fan of a performer. And we bought it looking one way and then it turned into something else. And I'm just like, man, that's so pretty.
I mean, we could technically give it a distinction. If we can define a feature on it that is specifically repeatable every time we grow it, then we can call it whatever we want, as long as we put in quotation marks.
Well, I will tell you that the mother plant on this doesn't look anything like the specimens that we've grown.
It doesn't. I'm just being smart.
But when they're cut and rooted, they continue to grow like they were. So it is carry-onable, but I can't say that I've flowered that and that it looks any different than the other Callistophila. But it's just one of those odd phenomenons that it's clearly different, but all I can say is it looks different. And if you're interested in that, then let your eyes be your guide. That's how I do it anyways. When I buy plants, I look at the leaf and I'm like, that's pretty. I want more of those around me. And so I buy it. Right? Yeah. Then you see the price tag and you're like, dang, how bad do I want those plants around me? Oof. Can I justify it? Yep. That's exactly it. Okay, next we have AH001 Vietnam. Very beautiful, splashy. The difference between Black Cat is more slender leaf and longer. I do have one, right? We have a Black Cat. Yeah. Catherine sent us a Black Cat. We were very fortunate enough to receive it.
Callistophila eggplant people are posting nowadays.
Oh,
ridiculously pretty.
There's so many interesting varieties out there. That Chibi is another one that still sells at quite expensive prices. Yeah, I can go and get our Black Cat and show you the difference there. It is an interesting species and maybe one that's worthy of highlight.
See if I can find someone who's posted it. Just saw somebody this morning. Who was it? Okay, here's one. The leaves are like, they come in super goth dark. See that? And then I think they fade back to green.
So here we have the Black Cat. As you can see, nice, rich, dark color on the leaves, but much longer, much more pointy.
These are like significantly long leaves.
Yeah. And then you can see this little guy is the descendant of the mother plant of our non-distinct Callistophila. But as you can see, really dark patches on these leaves, super gorgeous vein patterns. And this has been recently extracted from the fence.
Yeah, it did kind of have a domatia formation here.
Right? It's kind of like formulating a little bit of a domatia situation.
These ones don't have that dark black spot. They don't get quite as there.
Yeah.
In between.
So interesting, but very, very different in their own way. Both very beautiful in their own way. Just kind of distinct.
Would you say your black cat is slow, honey?
I would say relatively. For the way other callistophilus have grown, we've never been able to cut that yet. We've had it, I'm going to say 6 months, a year maybe. Yeah, I think that sounds about right. And it was, it was rooted well when we got it. But yes, I do have another Callie.
Oh no, she's saying what's one more.
Oh, what's
one more to add to her collection?
I see. I misunderstood. But yeah, you're absolutely right. What's one more? I mean, what's a dozen more, I say. Except for I know that Catherine has no space. All right, so what we have here is Mathilde. Super beautiful, splashy little cute leaves. Serpens and Carnosa cross makes for a really durable and easy growing plant. Gorgeous flowers and adorable little cute leaves without the fussiness of the typical serpens care. So I think that's quite a accomplishment when you make a cross that is that much better. True.
It's not a big undulata.
Yeah, it's just a big one.
It's just a little baby.
Okay, what have we here? This is another Catherine plant, which I'm really quite fond of, by the way. This is a Numani, growing very vigorously. It gets this really great transformation where the leaves come out this lime green color, and then as they harden off and take their full size and shape, they get this really nice rich color. Catherine always hooks us up with great plants to grow. She's like, here, you try this one out. You'll love it. And you're not wrong. You're giving us some really good ones. So I really enjoy this one. It's got a somewhat thin leaf, but I really do enjoy how durable it is. It's not fussy like a lot of the thin leaf plants can be. So I enjoy that about it. You can enjoy the way those leaves look and their texture without having to worry that every time you walk out to your grow space or every time you turn around the corner in your home, it's going to be looking like a peace lily, sad and wilted in the corner. So again, I enjoy that about a plant. When you can hold your own and in between waterings, you're not going to like false pieces. I think that that's something that can be cherished in a plant. Okay, here's another interesting one. This is an Achi Bogor. Gorgeous raised veins on these elongated leaves. This stunner. This prefers lower light, in my experience, but you don't have to take my word for it. Put it in the bright light and watch it get chlorotic. I really like it growing in the lower light. It gets a really nice, rich color.
Which one was it?
This is going to be 4335.
Which plant though?
Oh, species Achi Bogor. So yeah, very beautiful, really nice purple midribs on these leaves and that raised vein texture that really is, I don't know, it's very beautiful and very, like, it seems like all those Achi species have that. It's like the predominant feature that they all seem to have. I don't know why, but yeah, it's definitely a good one. I have a few different ones, but yeah. All right, what we have here is a Diversifolia Maharani Jumbo, supersized. Absolutely gorgeous, the color on these leaves, and they've been very consistent in their shape. I say that because the other Diversifolia that we grew was not that way. The leaves were much smaller and they were all oddly shaped. Ooh, it could be. It's quite possible that it's a clem. got the vibes. So I wouldn't be that surprised to find that out. But yeah, it's a good one. I'm glad to grow it in my collection. I just think that, you know, I learned a lesson by growing it in too bright a light, and that, you know, made a few leaves look a little, you know, chlorotic on the edges and stuff. So I learned my lesson about it, and it's just one of those that prefers a little lower light. Okay, Jennifer, another really wide ranged plant. These guys have quite versatile presentation. If you grow them in the bright light, they get kind of a lime green, and the veins really stand out quite a bit. If you grow them in the lower light, they get dark, rich green color. Either way, they kind of remind me of like a dinosaur plant. They're just so weird and chunky and odd. So I like that about them. The leaves are often asymmetrical or just oddly proportioned, and they just grow in how they grow in, and they just don't seem to care or mind. So I find that to be quite liberating. And, you know, sometimes they give you good form and nice shape, but sometimes not so much. And that other one that I showed has all that crazy splash. It's difficult to say. I do think that there are some times where I've noticed many people showing off the same plant in bloom. And I don't know if it has to do with
that was Jennifer that he just showed.
Moon tides or what's causing that, because often they're indoor growing plants that are doing that. So I can't explain exactly what it is, but I will say that I have noticed a trend of sometimes you'll see a certain species flowering in many people's collections at a given time. Mm-hmm. But it's all through the year for us.
Yeah, I think it really depends on species. Some of them are light dependent, so meaning that they need a shorter or longer day length to trigger flowering. Some of them are, you know, more temperature dependent. They need a cooler overnight temperature to flower. I think overall, we do see like a certain section of Hoyas all seem to bloom in the spring, and a certain section of Hoyas all seem to bloom in the fall. You know, that would be opposite in the Southern Hemisphere. But I don't think that it's always necessarily a season indoors growing, because we can make them have any season we want.
Yeah. Yeah, I find that to be a very interesting thing, that like no matter what I do in my grow space, no matter how long I turn my lights on or off or whatever, it doesn't seem to make as much difference as, you know, you're comparing with the people who are not changing those factors, and they're getting the same flowering time on their plant. Ooh, nice. That's really cool.
Those were pretty sigillata, like, or not sigillata, like they are sigillata.
7950, is that the one you're talking about, the GPS?
Oh, I guess GPS could be also the big
8867.
Yeah, the Sarawak or something. The big one, the latifolia type.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good GPS. Among all the GPSs. Oh, the French fry one. Yeah, that's the 7950.
Oh, yeah, that's this pre-splash.
The purple sun stress and the beautiful splash. Yeah, and I'm sure of it. It's a gorgeous one. I really enjoy that plant. I wish it grew faster for us, because they're hot sellers. People like those guys, especially when we show off your plant. Okay, we have a Lacanosa longleaf Malaysia, another really beautiful Lacanosa variety that I really enjoy. They flower very frequently. They have large flowers individually, and so large umbels of flowers, larger than our other Lacanosa varieties. So I find that to be quite interesting, that the leaves and the flowers are large. So if you like Lacanosa and you're collecting Lacanosas, this is a good one to add to your collection, because it has that full Lacanosa on display, but in larger form. Okay, we have a Pubicalix Pink Silver Ghost. These occasionally will give you a varied leaf, but they definitely will return to full silver. They are just super stunning. I'm very impressed with how our mother plant has grown. The more I cut it, the larger the leaves get. It's such a pretty plant. I love it. Every time I cut it, it explodes with new vines, though. It's definitely one of those ones that I can't seem to keep it under control. It needs a larger place on a shelf. It needs a trellis to climb on. I keep cutting off the vines and rooting them up, but it's not a long-term solution, I feel. It wants to be a bigger plant, I feel. And if I'm going to ever let it flower it definitely needs to be larger. So I'll have to arrange that. Maybe that's part of this new scenario that we're working out in our grow space is 2 tiers, double the square footage, hopefully, of mother plant growth space, which will hopefully lead to some extra room for taller trellises. So fingers crossed, we're going to try and work that out this summer. It's a project I've been working on for a while now, trying to strip the fence, but it's slow going on that. But I am making progress, and I feel like we're lining up towards possibly doing that this summer. And I think that's going to really help us around here with maintenance of our plants, something that we're going to be talking a little more about later. But yeah, one of my Lacunosus is flowering right now out there. I think it's a fuzzy leaf, the one with the less fuzzy leaf. Remember that descriptor on the Lacunosa?
Oh, yeah.
It's just a normal Lacunosa leaf on it, but it's the less fuzzy leaf is on the tag. And I'm not sure where we got that from.
The more fuzzy leaf?
Right? Yeah. That's what I'm curious about. Are they all the fuzzier and this one is less fuzzy? Anyways, it's flowering now and it's less fuzzy. So there you go. I believe this one went, maybe not. There's more than one in the shop. So this is a 4363 Hoya Swiffer's Dream. Did you guys see April's picture that she posted the other day? I think it was on Instagram, of the Swiffer's Dream. Oh my goodness. All sun-stressed in red, super pretty. Gorgeous. It's just another one of those reasons why I need to put more of my Hoyas out on my patio this summer. Like, I got to get some of that real sunshine. Like, the artificial light just doesn't give you the same sun stress, I feel. So it's going to be that'll be another phase of the summer shift, is some plants will be going outside to be soaking up that morning sun, and some plants will be shifted onto these newer shelves that we're talking about. So it's going to be a lot of shaking up of things around here this summer. Okay, next we have this RCX 50. Very beautiful, great elliptica vein pattern, but fast growth, very friendly plant. This one flowers really nice and grows really fast. Great for trellising, nice, easy, flexible vine that is very amenable to twisting around either a bamboo trellis or whatever kind of trellis you like. You can do small trellis with something this size. I find that to be a really nice way to loop it around several times and make a nice, full, luscious plant. But RCX 50 sun stresses really beautifully and has a great flower as well. So, okay, next we have Quinquevaria. Really great glossy leaf on this. Stunning. They get
non-variegated one.
Yeah, this is the non-variegated variety, but they are absolutely beautiful nonetheless. They get really gorgeous sun stress too.
Did you have more of the little blues?
I do.
Okay. I'm just asking for me, not for...
Yeah, I do have more if anyone was interested. They are of varying color status, so definitely the one that was in the show is exceptional. So they're not all that great, but they do have some good colors too, quite a few of them. So if anybody needs them, let me know. Okay, we have Wildflower, SMS Wildflower. Stunning large leaf. I suspect this could have Pubicalix carnosa lineage somewhere in the vicinity there, but it's just because of the shape and the size of the leaf. They grow a lot like a Pubicalix. I have to compare the way the vine grows, the way the leaves come in. It's very similar, familiar territory, as it were, but it's gorgeous. These large wavy leaves and beautiful splash. So get you one of them wildflowers. Go wild. Okay, last but not least, we have this tray. Yeah, you never know. Could be. All right, next we have this one. Definitely a candidate for Hot Boy. This is the Cypran. Again, one of my favorites to show off. They just so stunning. The pink splash on this plant is otherworldly. It beats the Leonensis even, which it's hard to do, but it's just so pretty. I don't know. Like I said, it's very irresistible. It's not a plant that grows long, crazy vines. It's definitely a plant that's close node spaces makes it a very dense, hard to cut plant, but it's still very satisfying to grow. I really enjoy it. And when it does grow vines and I can take cuttings, and I do, but it's not one that produces tons of offspring is what I'm trying to say. They're gorgeous. And when I can offer them, I will, but it's definitely one that doesn't necessarily come up that often. Okay, here's another gorgeous favorite of ours in that French fry department. This is the Loy Provence, species Loy Provence. Elongated leaves with great splash. It seems the splash also elongates. They're like dashes. I find that very interesting about these ones. They're gorgeous. Splash turns pink in the bright light, and they're easy, fast growers that have a very unique leaf shape. I find these to be really beautiful. Put them on a full trellis and let them grow in. All those gorgeous long leaves kind of hang down. And yeah, I mean, it's hard not to love that vibe. Maybe it's just me, but I love them. I think they're so cool. Long leaves all hanging and wrapped on a trellis once they orient themselves and are facing in the right direction. I just think that's just such a compelling look. It comes into that palm tree vibe. Check out that cute little new leaf on this Obscura outer variegated. Gorgeous, fast growing. These sized up on the leaves big time. When we got these, they were normal Obscura leaf size, and they grew to Carnosa leaf size. They were massive. Since I cut it, they haven't grown as large, but again, it's just one of those very beautiful, easy growing species that every time I look at it, I'm like, geez, that thing needs a haircut. It just keeps growing more vines and longer vines. I really enjoy it. This is going to be 4380. Okay, next. This is
my ridiculous from Friday.
This is my favorite Wilbur Graves that I've grown in a while, and for stupid reasons, because okay.
You didn't actually see this on Friday, sorry.
Tell me that doesn't look like a pair of lips giving a little smirk. Isn't that stupid? Like, I saw that in the tray and I'm like, that looks like it's smiling at me. Right? So I made that joke on Friday, and I don't think everybody got it, but some people did.
I think they got it. I just don't think they found it funny.
Maybe that's it. Yeah. Maybe it's only moderately funny. But I thought it was hysterical, so I'm still laughing about it. It just looks like a pair of lips. Okay. We have, what do we have? Elliptica splash. Beautiful, splashy leaves. These, it's hard to say. The splash on these is very interesting. It's not as convincing until you see it in full size. It's weird splash. It's not like splash on other leaves. It's sort of faint, sort of ghosty, but it's there. It's just not as obvious because of the bright vein pattern on the leaf, because of the way that it just plays out. It's not like as obvious as Carnosa splash. It's there and it's beautiful, and it's a very interesting, easy grower. It grew fast and flowered fast for us. Elliptica imbricata hybrid. Ooh.
Oh, man.
That sounds delightful. Yeah. I'm a huge fan. And like I said, this has grown easier for us than our standard Elliptica, and it's flowered easier. So I find it to be very appealing in that way. But yeah, it's a stunner, and it's not a huge plant, but it's very convincing. So I enjoy it. Okay, next we have Sigillatus intervariegated. Gorgeous color on these guys. I just can't get enough of it. That doesn't even look like it's from this world. That pink color on those leaves, so beautiful. So again, it's one of those plants that's hard to get a full eye of what they can do if you're looking at just a couple leaves in a cup. But as it grows out, it's like I'm more and more fond of that plant as time goes by. it really does make it hard to cut because it is so gorgeous. And when you go to cut it, it doesn't have that same full display of all the range of those leaves. So it definitely is one of those ones that tugs at your heart when you have to chop it. Okay, here we have 4373. This is an Anna Cajon, one of our favorite fuzzy petable Hoyas. These get really nice dark margins as they sun stress. The flowers are adorable. Yeah, it's in that sigillatus family, but they're very durable. I find that these are very resistant in between waterings. They don't wilt. They don't really show signs that they're thirsty, but they are. And so it's an interesting one. I find that they're very just easygoing. Cebu.
Cebu is that? BC Cebu?
Is the same? I don't know. I feel like these have more of a crease down the middle of the leaf, whereas the Cebu is like flat all the way across.
Cebu City. Oh, okay. Yeah,
it's
definitely
possible.
Could be.
It's possible. I feel like there's some pretty distinct characteristics of the leaf that may indicate elsewise, though. I don't know. I feel like that mid-rib crease is absent in the Cebu City. But then again, that could be a characteristic of another parentage. We are supposed to get something. I don't know exactly what,
I don't think
though.
we're supposed to get much here.
Yeah.
Thankfully.
I didn't see the forecast this morning, but a few days ago they were calling for something
north
overnight
and west
tonight.
of us, but
yeah.
Yeah, and it's supposed to be warmer later this week, so.
Yeah, I feel like we're in that time of year where you have to wear your entire wardrobe and you have to like dress in layers so you can strip down as you work outside, right? Yeah, that's what we need is a 50-degree range. Okay, we have Para Albo, gorgeous little new leaf there showing off its pink new emergent colors. And as you can see, several more adorable little new leaves coming in. This is a fast grower with really beautiful, I like to say it's chalky, but it's got a very interesting texture to it. It's sort of matte, it's non-reflective, it's not glossy, but it's just like, it's not fuzzy either. It's just very interesting. I think my best description is chalky, but it's interesting. It reminds me of Subquintuple nervous, but without a variegated. It's really pretty. So I'm a big fan of the Para Albo also. We just repotted our 2 mother plants into one basket. So literally have all our eggs in one basket on that one. But I really do think they're very pretty and I enjoy it. Here's another really beautiful favorite of ours, Helwigiana. Really great sun stressor with gorgeous veins, fast growth and fast flowering. Helwigiana it's a winner. I feel like they're underrated for what they perform. They are talked about. They're not unspoken, but they're definitely not talked about enough. I feel like the color that they give, they can turn beautiful purple and red, and they're just absolutely stunning. So, and then they flower very frequently and very quickly. So I think there's a lot to love about them. Okay, we have another Delat. This one is 4387. Again, very gorgeous. These get really nice sun-stressed rims on the leaves, nice splash, and yeah. Last but not least, we have RB Dick. These get really pretty leaves wherever you grow them. However, boy, I feel a sneeze coming on. Maybe. However, when you grow them in the low light, like I was about to say, they get really nice, rich, dark colored leaves. And the splash on them, whoo. Yeah. The RB Dick is a great one. Yeah. Super beautiful, super easy to grow. And like I said, our mother plant, I moved it from the bright light to a lower light situation, and I'm really enjoying the new growth on that plant. It's super stunning. The rich dark color comes out in those leaves, and it really causes
it's never not funny.
Splash to accent. Yeah, it's same. It's hard not to, especially when you think about all the jokes about a box of dicks.
Yeah, I feel bad for whoever named it. And they probably worked really hard to make this cultivar, and they probably did not intend for it to be a joke.
Yeah. Yeah, they probably wanted it to be RB. And someone was like, I know what I'll do to spite you. Anyways. Well, if there's anything else that we didn't show you, that was the last of what I had pulled to show you. So
yeah,
if you need to see more, shout it out. But yeah, we were going to get in position to discuss our maintenance, our seasonal maintenance, and maintenance of our collection in general. It's an ongoing subject around here. We definitely have maintenance chores that are pretty constant, and also seasonal maintenance chores.
I think it's a good time of year to start to go through your collection and decide, what needs to be done. We do have a handout on our website on collection maintenance. We've done this talk before, but I think that we're going to come at it a little differently this time. I think, trying to establish what's ahead of you so you know what you need to do and how you want to guide your collection into like a curated thing can make it feel less overwhelming to have a whole ton of plants.
Absolutely.
So I think, that's kind of where we're going to talk about today. I've been trying really hard, still been working on it while we're sitting here in the show, and it's not working still. But I have a website page that I've been working on that should, once it's working, be an audit list that you can enter in your plants. Once you add the plant, it will give you a 3-choice option of, is it thriving, does it need work, or do you want to let it go? Once you've chosen the right thing, if you choose need work, then it will tell you, give you options to check a box for repotting, needs treatment, or needs the trash, or needs trellising. And then that way you'll have a PDF that you can print out, a checklist of like, okay, here's all the tasks I need to get done. So that it feels a little bit less overwhelming. At least for me, once I've written it down, it feels less overwhelming for me. Maybe for other people, once you see a long list, I know you hate lists. So, but we're not talking about you.
Yeah. I know I'm growing more accustomed to operating
I'm getting you
from
into
a list.
listing. Yeah. So, I'm struggling with the coding of it on the website because it's not something I do. So I'm going to have to employ my child to help me.
Yeah.
But in the template, it's working really well. It's just not working live
Fortunately,
yet.
It's something they do very well. So it is something that we will be able to work out eventually.
Yeah.
But I do think that's a very interesting...
I can show you like the little preview.
guide.
I'm working on it through AI, so don't be mad at me for using AI. But it has like a little box there. You just add your plant into that box, and then you hit add plant. And then I've used Hoya fungi here. So you have a 3-choice option there. And once you've hit needs work, it gives you that. And then at the bottom, it will give you a running tally of the number of chores you need to get done.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I kind of go through our plant collection when I'm trying to help Caleb decide where do we need to go, what needs to happen next. That's my favorite thing to do is kind of the management of everything. So going through everything and saying, okay, here's this plant. I think it's a good time of year to take each plant out of your collection, pick it up, look at it all around and say, do I like this plant? Do I want to keep this plant? Yes, I do. Okay, great. What needs to be done to make this plant look the way I want it to? What's your goal for it? Are you trying to make it bigger? Are you trying to make it flower? Do you want it to be a certain shape or do you want to get more color? Once you've defined what your goal is, then you can easily start to check off, what do you need to do to get to that goal? And then it doesn't feel so overwhelming to me.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely that evaluation sometimes leads to an offloading of a plant. If you realize that you've been keeping a plant alive that's not serving your purpose or not going to reach your goal, it gives you a point of evaluation that you can say, you know what, here's the finish line for you, bud. Here's where you get off. And I'm not going to continue to keep this plant around for no good reason. Now you're curating your collection for a different reason than I am. But I think that's an evaluation it becomes personal then. You're making choices based on your collection, based on what your passion is for this plant or that, or what your want for this plant or that. Mine are different. I want plants to make production, And if they don't do well in production, if they're very difficult to propagate, for example, that's not a plant that's going to really last in our collection very long because it's not doing its job.
A lot of our philodendrons have gone through that whole methodology. We've looked at them and said, okay, can I give you what you need here right now? Do you have, enough space, enough light to be as pretty as I want you to be? And some of them don't. We don't have the space to keep them in that kind of light, and then therefore they don't look that nice, and we don't want to keep them around our house. Or need to, and the bottom of the checklist can't be get bigger house.
True that. Unfortunately, that would be my solution to it: is keep all the plants, get bigger house.
Yeah.
But that's not practical, unfortunately, right?
But I mean, it can be. We're just going to have to get a lot more money first if that's how we're going to end that checklist.
I've had to make some real sacrifices. And I think that's part of going through this is we have to decide what is worth all the labor and effort and what isn't. Okay. Like, I'm not saying get rid of all your plants that give you a little hassle, because sometimes that hassle is worth the reward it brings.
That's what you're doing, Kim. Perfect. All right. We're all going to Kim's house. She's got more room, apparently.
We'll send you all our extras. Somehow I don't think that's true.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, man. No, I always feel like there's just a little bit more room, but it's
we
not.
We also just took over our mother's house. Yeah, that's true. With acreage, nice. Oh,
that's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think it can be easily overwhelming when you start to look at this time of year and say, oh my God, there are so many things I need to get done. How am I going to get this all done? I think once you've decided what needs to get done, it's easier to then put that into a what's urgent. I would argue that things that are in need of a treatment, like they have pests, they look like they have root rot. I think that goes into an urgent pile. And then you can decide what's next most important to you. Do you want to focus on flowering or sun stressing or something else this year and make those your next chores? And then hopefully that kind of takes it in more bite-sized pieces for collection maintenance overall. That's how we would start to evaluate our plants. And then you can start to step back from the plants and evaluate the area around the plants and say, what work do I need to do around this spot to make sure that they get what they need? Do I need to add more lighting? Do I need to add a new shelf or, something? Do I want to display these things differently?
Yeah. Sometimes in terms of pest management, you have to clean around your shelf and scrub beneath the shelf and all the crevices and everything where bugs could possibly be. And those are things that we have to take into consideration. And that's part of a seasonal maintenance regimen. That's one more item on the list. But if you put it down on the list, it seems less overwhelming. It does seem like, okay, eventually I can cross this off the list, and eventually the list finishes. That there is an end to the work. It doesn't seem so endless at that point. Now, there's always more items to add to the list, and it is in fact endless. However, it can seem like it isn't. When you have a list, there's an end to the list. So I do think that taking it in chunks like that, putting it down on the list, gives you liberty to not carry it around with you in your mind. And I think there's some liberation to that, knowing it's on the list.
That's the hard part I have. If it's in my brain, I can't stop thinking about it.
Yeah.
So I need to be able to put it somewhere else so that I don't have to.
Well, it mitigates the fear of forgetting. And I think that that's important to us. Is we want to remember the things that are important to us. We have to put it down somewhere, write it down somewhere, or else we're trying to keep it in our minds. And that's taxing. You don't realize how taxing that can be to try and remember something.
Well, I think it makes you more efficient too. If you can put together a list of, okay, all 5 of these plants need to be repotted. Then you can take out all your potting stuff and repot those 5 in one day and put it all away again. You don't have to keep pulling it out every single time. Or you can make your tasks, into a group situation so that they maybe are done more efficiently. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I don't do it as efficiently as I should.
I like to think that's what my walks are about when I walk through the garden and look at everything. I'm not actually doing anything yet, but I'm taking into consideration all the things that need to be done. And once action starts, exactly, you're implementing a batch efficiency. You're bringing out a bunch of plants that need to be repotted in this way, or a bunch of plants that need to be watered. But you have to do the surveillance first. You have to go around and survey what's in need of watering, what's looking good, and what's struggling, what's whatever.
Yeah, that's how my brain works.
Yeah.
Give me a Kanban board and I'm happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely a coping mechanism. 100%. Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Yeah, that's the way I work. I don't know, maybe that doesn't work for everybody. Like, I know Caleb can get overwhelmed by a list that is very long. Like, it makes his brain start to freak out. So if I'm giving him a list, I try not to give him too many things on that list.
Yeah.
And I'll just keep the other things back. You don't need to know about them yet, you know? So I don't think it works for everybody, but I think even that helps you get more done if you can stay on track, because you will get distracted easily by things not on a list sometimes.
Yeah, that's true. I definitely have all kinds of things going on. I have a lot of irons in the fire. And so if I go over here for a minute, I'm going to be distracted by the things that are over there or over here or over there. You know, every corner has something that requires something of me.
Yeah.
So I like keeping frogs alive, keeping carnivorous plants alive, keeping other collections alive that rarely see the light of day, but that is something that is on the agenda.
That's why I think the system like this helps you to prioritize. Like if you get caught, you're like, oh, that needs to be done too. It's easy to weigh it against where does it fall on this list priority wise? Like, is it the most urgent? No. Okay, well, it can go on to that other list for now, and I'll do that later when I'm doing those type of tasks, you know?
Right. Yeah, it's important to categorize those things because you can't do everything now. That's just not possible. And we have to take it in chunks or else we're going to get overwhelmed by it.
Also a method you could try. Yeah, I do that with a lot of administrative tasks.
Sometimes you got to do what you got to do, right? Sometimes you got to pick your battles. I think that's a very important lesson for plant care. Often I go out through the collection, I decide that we no longer carry this species. Sometimes it's just based on that species is not wanting to perform Dikea. Mm-hmm. And it just doesn't, unfortunately, it just doesn't survive the endeavor. Sometimes I retry. Sometimes I decide to not retry with plants. There's definitely been a few that I've retried and had success. There's also some that I've retried relentlessly and still can't manage to make it happen. So there is a point of redundancy where you shouldn't keep going in a direction that's not successful. And I think that that's an important part of the lesson here is that you got to make evaluations from time to time and say, you know, I had in mind I was going to grow this plant, but it's not behaving for me, and I'm not going to beat myself over the head with it. I'm just going to go ahead and let it go and place my time elsewhere because I have plenty of things that I need to do. And if I'm not doing those things because I'm over here caring for this plant that's extremely difficult to keep happy, that's not a good workable solution long term.
It is hard to let go especially when you've invested your energy, your money, your time into something that you're like, I just want you to work. I just want you to live.
Yeah.
But it's necessary, right? So we don't get caught with too much.
I tell myself, I bought this plant to see if I liked it. And it turns out I don't.
Yeah.
So goodbye, friend. Yeah. See you next time. And I think that that's something that we can all be like, hey, listen, I had my best intentions when I bought this plant, but it's not performing to the standard. I'm not committed to this plant for life. Just because I bought it doesn't mean I have to keep it forever. Give it to somebody. If it's perfectly healthy, if there's nothing wrong with it and you just hate it, give it to somebody because someone might take joy from that, but it's out of your collection. It frees you from a burden that's really not bringing you the joy it should.
And it's the same as our mentality on don't fall in love with a specific plant, fall in love with the species, right? Like if this one isn't right, just let it go. It doesn't mean you can't get another, you know?
Yeah. And that's why I end up with several undulatas or several Hoyas.
Yeah.
I can't
Melies will do this.
Just one.
Melies will quickly make you reevaluate how you look at your plants and decide if they're, you know, they can either burn you out on this hobby or they can make you realize that you can just adjust how you think about them and then they don't.
I've seen a lot of people where Melies were the final straw.
Yeah.
They were on the ropes already, but Melies came along and they were like, I just don't even want to play with plants anymore.
Yeah, that's sad.
It is. It really is. Because you're losing a lot of joy for what is actually a pretty manageable issue. You just have to be more diligent about keeping up with it. You can't just be like, oh, let it go, don't do anything, and then find out, oh, all your plants have Melies. That's a problem. But if you're going along and doing periodic maintenance, it shouldn't be such a massive infestation before you find it. and therefore you can mitigate having your whole collection to deal with. And maybe it's just a couple plants that are affected in a certain area or something, and you can, okay, now those plants need to go on the treated list, and they need to be treated for this, and they need to be, by my definition, treated means unpotted, sprayed, repotted, maybe cut back. There's a dramatic treatment that I would suggest in that case. Yeah. But again, that goes on the list, and hey, okay, these are going to be needing some extra care, rather than just let it get out of hand and be like, well, I can't do everything for everyone, and so I'm going to do nothing for all of my plants. And it's easy to do.
Easy to say, hard to do, right? Like, and there are obviously, all of us have other outside factors in our life that can put pressure on whether or not you have the ability to manage that kind of thing at any given time. But hopefully we can try to make it easier with some habits like doing collection audits and saying, what's here, what do I need to do? Keep that all kind of more under wraps.
Yeah. I mean, if you put that much energy into a plant, there's absolutely a line where you say, okay, I've given you all I care to give you, and that's the end of the line for you, bud. You didn't perform, you didn't come around, and that's the end of it. And I think that not having that emotional attachment to a plant allows you to just disconnect like that and say, okay, you didn't do what I wanted you to do. I'm going to try again with a different plant later, and I'm going to let this go and save my energy for other things.
So let's talk about how we would evaluate a plant in this process. So I think one thing that some people don't get in the habit of doing is picking it up, like pick up your plant and look at it from all angles. Sometimes you've got it perfectly nestled into somewhere, and it's hard to evaluate how it's growing on the backside, or how the roots are growing, stuff like that. So we always recommend taking the plant out, evaluating how it's growing. Can you find new growth on it? Can you find where that new growth is going? Is it stuck in the shelf? Is it going into the plug? Something like that. And then evaluating its roots and saying, where are the roots at? Is it totally filling this pot? Does the soil look like it's depleted of nutrition? Things like that. We always recommend looking at the underside of your leaves, of all of your leaves, if you can, when you're doing this kind of inspection, to make sure you don't see any signs way down at the bottom of the plant, something might be starting. And then we just decide, do I need to address any of these things? Does it need to be trellised because these tendrils are going everywhere and getting tangled? Does it need to be up potted because it's drying out far too fast? Do I need to fertilize because I haven't done that in 6 months on this plant? That type of thing.
Or is it completely stalled and not doing anything when you're expecting growth? And
sniff test.
So all those things definitely play into an evaluation of what's this plant up to? What's it doing? How well is it doing in my collection? Is it enjoying the care it's receiving? Or is it not enjoying it? Is it not having a good time? And is it struggling? If it's struggling, it could be a reason, and it could just be that the plant doesn't enjoy
That's a good idea,
that
Tammy.
environment.
Tammy says that she divides her plants into zones, and she gives each zone a week of inspection.
Yeah.
That's a really good way to take it in small bites.
Focus on one area and not be distracted by all the other things you have to do. But yeah, you can concentrate on a smaller picture. That definitely gives you a better inspection of those plants that you're looking at this week, rather than trying to look over the entire collection in 1 week. You're giving it a quarter of your attention at that point. So I think that definitely makes an impact on your evaluations. Are going to be a lot better in that circumstance. One of the things that I like to look for is...
That's a good point. Keep things that need care together.
Yeah, no, that's definitely a really good tip. I keep most of my multifloras within the same vicinity. They're plants that need to be watered almost quite regularly. I wouldn't say every day, but some of them could actually do everyday watering, a light one. Again, it's one that I don't let go for 5-6 days without checking in on it. So there are those zones where you go key right in on the fragile baby plants, or the new acquisitions that you just got, and there are 1 or 2 leaf propagations that you're working on, or some of those type of things that are quite fragile in their state. You want to check in on them quite regularly. So it's not like once a week you're coming around looking, you're checking on them on a daily basis. And
Avenel said, my issue is now I figure out Hoyas are my plants, and now I'm trying to find homes for my other beautiful plants, but unfortunately there is no one. That was a point we went through as well, where we had to say, this is too many plants for us to care for. I'm not passionate about these things any longer. I have repeatedly, I keep buying Marantas because I love them, but I don't actually like taking care of them anymore. So generally I buy one in the spring and I enjoy it for the season, and then I kind of let it die over the winter. They're no longer so expensive that I can't get another one, or so uncommon. So I think that's another thing too, is you don't have to grow all of the plants all of the time. You can grow it for a season and then let it go.
Yeah, like banana trees. They're beautiful in the summer. If you got a nice little patio or something like that, they're awesome. But some of them are not hardy, and there's very difficult to find room in your home for a banana tree. We live in suburban Metro Detroit area. Our house is not huge and our ceilings are pretty low. So we're very limited in how many trees we can have in our home, and banana trees can get quite large. So again, it's one of those things that seasonally they're wonderful, but you don't have to keep it through the winter. They're cheap enough to replace and let it do its thing all summer and enjoy it.
Yeah. I found that it's not too hard for us to get rid of plants that we don't want if we can't get anyone to purchase them. In our area, we live in a pretty densely populated area. So if I put them up on Palm Street and Facebook Marketplace, then generally somebody will want to pick it up. We haven't done it in a while, but when we were doing the farmer's market at the end of the season, in the fall, we would have a bunch of like smaller plants that we just didn't have room to keep that we had grown for sale. And we would always have a day at my office that we called Trash Plant Day, where we'd bring in all the plants that were going to go to the trash if no one took them. And then all of my colleagues would come and take one. And we just did a day the other day where they're all showing me pictures of the trash plants they've collected over the years and how they're doing, how big they are and stuff. So
awesome.
It's just fun because there are a bunch of people who weren't interested in plants, who had no experience with them. And, now they are plant people because we shared it with them.
No, I think that's very cool to see that journey in people. And I think that that's something that carries on long after they're still enjoying the joy that plant brings to their home and the life that it brings. And every time I look at or watch a TV show or see a commercial or something like that, I'm noticing nowadays it's more common to have 10 plants in the room than it is to have one plant in the room or whatever. Like when I was a kid, you might see one plant in the corner of a show and it's plastic or something. Now it's like there's a window with a bunch of plants, and that's the normal scene in the family living room of your, sitcom or whatever you might be watching, or the commercial that's on in between.
Yeah,
it's just the norm.
A lot more common.
Yeah, so I think that's a very cool swing towards having that natural element in your home. It's more normal than I just think it adds so much.
Yeah. So I would say, ask around. Even people you think might not want to plant might just be tempted by the right one, the right type,
Yeah. People never are sad about a beautiful plant you've grown and you're like, here, have this plant. They're like, are you serious? Really? You'll find someone to rehome your plant.
I noticed that now too. Like I would have never thought about it 15 years ago. I was not into plants. But now when I walk into a house and I don't see a plant, I'm like, do you need a plant?
Yeah.
Do you want me to bring you a plant?
Could use a plant or two in here.
I get mad at certain, like I go to a new gym. It just opened and there are fake plants everywhere, fake monsteras, fake philodendrons, but there's like no windows. So I understand why, but I just get so sad when I see them.
Yeah. Yeah. We've given up quite a bit of real estate in our home to big plants. And I think that's one thing that not everyone has that kind of space for plants or could make that kind of space.
Same.
I think it depends on the passion you have for that. I love big plants. I've always been fascinated by thaumatophiles. Since being a very young lad, I was influenced, and now I really am passionate about monsteras. And so it's kind of it's a difficult game to be in. I love plants that I have no space to put. And so it's a constant struggle of wrestling them into a shape that I can bring them into the house. This monstera grows out in the summer. It grows 5 or 6 new leaves. But then I have to cut off almost all of them each year to bring it through the door and get it into the house. And last year I had to repot it. So.
Yeah, I wish we could put some in our office, but we have no windows inside either.
Yeah.
And the ceilings are like too high to hang a grow light.
Yeah, it's difficult. I think there's just some places are well suited to it and some places just aren't. If you have a really nice, beautiful
the
window.
Bird store, though. Remember that? We went to the bird feed store the other day, and they had somebody in there clearly loves plants. They had some beautiful plants growing all over the bird feed store.
Yeah, nice south-facing windows on your shop, I think, gives you liberty to do some really cool things with plants in your retail location. You know, so it's a unique situation that they've got. I feel because they've got the right light.
Yeah,
you can just put those plants in there, and they're going to be happy. Keep them watered, and they're happy.
I don't know if it's still a thing. Do you remember when we first got into plants, and everyone would talk about prop lifting, where they would go and they would take a cutting off a plant in a public space, which we do not advocate for at all.
No.
But maybe we need to do like the reverse of that. Maybe we all need to take our plants that we maybe don't love and just
donate them.
Leave them in places around town.
Take me
now
home.
You have a pretty plant.
Yeah, I think you have to like distinguish and put a sign in it, like a little tag that says, "Please take me home and give me love. Give me water once a week
here
and love
a
me."
Good spot for you. Find the right lighting somewhere out in town.
Definitely a great idea. You could drop them off at
free library for plants. Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah, I think that would be fantastic.
Yeah.
And people who are looking for plants but can't afford plants could find the plants that people don't have use for anymore or don't have passion for anymore, and then they could enjoy. And there are a large group of people who absolutely love peace lilies. I despise them, but some people absolutely love them. And so I think that there's a group for every plant. There's people who are in love with every kind of plant that's out there. Even Dieffenbachias, there's a passionate group of people who are super into them. So
our library does a swap every year, but it's just like a one-day thing.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I think that's a great idea. Take a plant, leave a plant, or those kind of places where you could just take, half of your unwanted collection and be like, can I leave 10 plants? I don't want to take any. I just want to leave all of these.
Yeah, we showed up with like a 9-foot tall banana tree. I'm like, I'm just going to drop this off real quick.
You walk up with a wagon full of trees. Like, here you go. I was just going to leave this here. Oh, man. That's awesome. We used to do some live plant shows.
Monstera propagation is super fun, but then you end up with a bunch of monsteras. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. We used to do live plant shows, and those were a lot of fun. But they used to always have like a section where people were doing plant swaps. And so I think that was a good opportunity for people to get rid of some of the things they weren't in need of or not passionate about, or just extras that they had grown. But I think that it's one of those things where growing plants doesn't necessarily just appeal to people who have all the money to buy all the plants that they want to have. Sometimes it appeals very broadly to people who can't afford to buy the coolest plant on the block or whatever. And so I think that some people just want to have any plant. They would be happy with whatever they could find or could have. And I think that that's kind of what we, having the abundance that we have that obligation to be like, hey, let's find a home for these plants for somebody who's going to enjoy them. So I do think that there's something to that. And it's very satisfying when you're like, hey, you know what? That plant is in a good home now. Someone's really enjoying it. And therefore, it's satisfying. We had a customer who came up to us at the farmer's market. He had rescued a parlor palm from his neighbor who moved and left it behind, and he just couldn't stand the sight of that tree dying outside. So he like rescued this thing. But he came to us like, what do I do with it now? Now that I've saved this tree and it's huge and I don't have any purpose for it. Do you guys want it? And I'm like, I don't. Thank you, but I don't. So he was trying to find that satisfaction of some other home for that thing to live in. I understand it.
What a cute idea. Your dad bringing home all these little bromeliads.
That's fun.
I think it's a good place to be in Peony, where you have a collection that you're like, yeah, I love every single thing here. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. That's fantastic.
I would rather have a yard full of bromeliads than a yard full of weeds.
Agreed. I've seen some amazing collections of those massive bromeliads. It boggles the mind. It doesn't even look like it's natural, or it looks like it could be a coral reef or something. How they just, these blossoms of amazing, colorful, vibrant leaves is so pretty.
We have an orchid show here next weekend.
Oh, yeah.
I just found out about it. I don't know if we're going to have time to go. I'm going to try really hard. But I don't think it's huge, but I just saw it pop up on Facebook that there's an orchid show next weekend, like not very far from us, which we need an orchid like we need a whole head. It's in Fraser.
Yeah, so not far, but
Michigan Orchid Society.
Could be interesting. Maybe we'll find, some mini orchids.
Yeah, it was Michigan Orchid Society on Facebook. Usually they have shows. Usually they're in like Lansing or somewhere farther away from us. And this one is not very far. But of course, it's on a day where we already have like 9 other things we're supposed to be doing. So I'm hoping that I can make it down there and sneak in for a few hours at least.
Yeah, I have 0 space for giant orchids, but...
Yeah, shoot me a message if you want me to send you the link.
Oh, nice.
Aw.
Awesome.
Your dad's so cute.
What a wonderful looking garden. Look at that. Amazing, colorful garden.
Wow.
That's fantastic.
Beautiful. I would not be sad to live in that yard.
Yeah, so nice. See, now that's way better than just like impatiens or something that you can plant in your flower beds every year. These things just doing their thing.
What a cool thing to be like obsessed with though, right?
Yeah. They are very cool plants.
Yeah.
I bet you get lots of frogs hopping around in there too.
Ooh,
lots of cool tree frogs. Oh yeah, those are fun. Definitely fun to mount. And I've seen some pretty amazing hanging baskets full of staghorns.
Yeah. Yeah, there's one up at Telly's, so up on 24 Mile in the northern Telly's, like has that giant staghorn that hangs over the whole thing. It's huge.
It's like a chandelier sort of situation, but full of amazing staghorns.
I know. It's the one good thing about living in Florida.
Right.
Sorry. I can say that I was born there.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, it's definitely, they provide a lot of colorful news. those Florida men always coming through with an interesting story. Oh man. Well, thank you all for joining us for our nonsense today. We really appreciate it. As usual, we love hanging out here with our people. And
we will not be on Friday next week. We will be on Saturday, probably Saturday evening. We've decided we're going to do here. And then we'll be back for Sunday morning.
Yeah, it's quite likely.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you.
I feel like that's one of those things that parents can pass down to their kids. And whether you know it or not, you're being influenced as a youngster. And then you grow into it later. That's what happened with me. I wasn't always interested. I kind of lost interest for a little while when I got into skateboarding. But like, I don't know. I think once plants get in your blood, it always comes back and you always find your way back to it in some way.
Yeah. We'll be back on Saturday next week, Saturday evening. I don't have a time yet, probably like 7. We'll do it live here instead of YouTube. And then on Sunday, we'll be back here for our normal show. If there's a topic you want us to cover, let us know. Otherwise, I think Saturday we're going to do repotting all those plants from Mayra. Maybe. We'll see.
Yeah.
Okay. If you need anything else, if you have any questions, if you want to see any more plants, just let us know. Yep. We're here. We hope you guys have a wonderful week, and we hope it gets warm and less windy wherever you are.
Thanks, guys. Have a great week.
Thank you.